Martinez picking up a goal. Triangles finds Camera. Camera stands on ball in the back. Looking to go square. It's got time to play. This makes it ahead 12 yards into the tackle. So he's trying to put the ball looking for the back. Moreno crosses into the centre box. Quick header by Gwen. It's going to go well wide. On his left post. A little bit of time and space there. Certainly getting the ball in early there. The man that has been signed from Betis for 30.3 million. Was not going off his radar. Still on for the season. Quite a few assists. In the right of Spanish football. All the way to my right. Zulu Thompson from right to left. Looking for Adams. Look at the end there. By Camera. Look at the ball now. 3.1 minutes. 12 yards inside the half. What's it back to Moreno? Puts the ball on. To Carr heads it away. To Carr starts ball again. Lifts it over the top. Behind, but it's first touch ball. From the right to clear. Back and right in front of the 10 kilometres on the far side. Michael Salisbury said, there's a left. He is a man that held himself very, very good across the back. Going to the Miller on the ball. This was 80 yards inside the black half. To the right, to the half, there's response. To the right by Ashley Young. Looking for Jacob. Can't take it. It's too sensible away from Bailey. So they go. Off the Bailey. Put it to the halfway line. Face by two. Back to Martinez from virtually the halfway line. Martinez, the goalkeeper for Aston Villa, away to my left as I face the pitch. Sweeps the ball out as Adams comes to meet him. Finds Mings. Mings out to Alex Moreno. Moreno in to the feet this time of Douglas Luiz, who holds off his man before playing it back to Tyrone Mings on the edge of his own penalty area. Mings on the penalty area away to my left-hand side. For Aston Villa, plays it back to his keeper, Emiliano Martinez. Martinez takes it slightly to the right, looks to go left. Big header infield by Moreno, but Lianco picks it up for Southampton. Over the halfway line he goes, tries to speed the ball through to Adams. Good toe comes in from Mings. But it balloons all the way back to Mohamed Salisu, midway inside the half of Southampton, away to my right-hand side. He plays it out to Walker-Peters, down the line to Ward-Prowse. Infield it goes. Good ball, looking for Edozie, spread out on the far side by Lavia. Edozie taking on Moreno, gets to the dead ball line, little toe in from Moreno, first corner of the game. Going the way of Southampton. Goal away to my right, comes under pressure. Looks like it's going to be Lavia to take. Jogs across into the only quarter of the pitch which has got sunshine down here at St Mary's. Martinez looks out to his left-hand side. Goal away to my left as well as I face the pitch. Paint that picture in your mind's eye. 6th minute. Scooped high towards the penalty spot. Lianco gets a header on it. Heads it down easy for Martinez to catch on the bounce. Lianco yet to trouble the goal-scoring charts in the Premier League for Southampton this year. Watkins tries to spin away from Edozie. Good work getting back there by Lavia. Chance here. Ball breaks into the box. Watkins goes at it. Gavin Bazunu comes down and puts his hands in. Over the top goes Ramsey, and it's going to be a corner this time at the opposite end of the field to Aston Villa. Very close there, Jacob Ramsey and Gavin Bazunu. Ramsey appealed massively, but I don't think it was always going to be a corner. Tell you what, they may have a look at this though. They may just have a little look at it. Michael Salisbury looks like he's ready. Corner. goal away to my left-hand side. Bazuna looks out to his right. Swung high into the box by Louise. Edge of the box. Ashley Young was about to volley it, but he clears it away. And Adam Armstrong on the break as well on the far side. Tries to get inside of Konza. He brings Adam Armstrong down. Adam Armstrong left in a heap just inside his own half, almost on the halfway line. Just caught the head of Armstrong. It looked like Ashley Young was about to do a waist-high volley as it dropped to him on the edge of the box. And ultimately just flicked off the head of Armstrong, which made Ashley Young look as though he was doing what I call a Hale Irwin from back in the 70s, an air shot on a golf course. Far side, Edozie cuts inside too, gets brought down by Buendia. Edozie got the crossfield ball down midway inside the Villa half, cut inside Buendia and Moreno. Buendia caught him, down went Edozie, free kick to Southampton. Difficult position, quite a way out, 8th minute now. Classic South Coast song, anybody that's in the league is Northern. Ward Prowse will take. I would say he's about 32 yards away from the goal. Martinez looks out to his right hand side, deep ball in. Martinez catches above the head of Salisu as he came in. Looking at the line from the replay, we do get monitors here. Villa thought they played a high line, but their first man in the line had actually dropped down and played all the Southampton players off, so it's a very good take above his head by Martinez. Camera gets the ball back to Martinez, who under pressure just smites it straight out to Nathan Jones in the technical area to the right hand side of the halfway line on the far side of the pitch. All of a sudden, the crowd start getting into the game. Flailing boot there by Che Adams is down to Villa player. Michael Salisbury says play on. Boubacar Kamara gets the ball down. It's Tyrone Mings that took it in a rather vulnerable place on the body. He's back on up off the floor now and in the sunshine on the far side. Knocks a long ball over the top of the Southampton fence. Tied it up by Duge Kaleta-Karl. Up to Edozie. Turns it round the onrushing man, but goes out of play for a throw to Aston Villa. Just about on the halfway line on the far side, which Alex Moreno will throw back to Tyrone Mings. New name, Alex Moreno. Came on as a 10-minute sub for Luca Digne in his shoulder injury, just 2 days after signing from Real Betis. Ball back to Martinez. Martinez out to the right side of centre half for Aston Villa, away to my left-hand side. Konza. Imagine in your mind's eye, Villa attacking a goal away to my right, Southampton attacking a goal away to my left. Martinez 6 yards outside his own penalty area, square to Ezri Konza. Konza to Ashley Young. Young 4 yards in from his near touchline, down the line into the feet of Bailey. Bailey turns it inside to Jacob Ramsey, who takes it out to the touchline near side, tracked by Walker Peters. Plays it into Kamara. Kamara lifts it down for Leon Bailey. Bailey got a chance for 1-on-1 against Salisu here. Tries to play it through Salisu's legs, but his legs block it. And then Kyle Walkers is absolutely smited to the floor by a very strong challenge by Boubacar Kamara. Kyle Walker's just a bit of a loose touch, and then just as Kamara came in, took the ball away from him, so it looked a little bit more uncomfortable than it possibly was. And, Kyle Walker Peters left in a bit of a heap on the floor. Free kick to Southampton. 10 minutes into the game here. Southampton 0, Aston Villa 0. At TalkSport Live at Selfie 86. Did check that penalty. Up to Che Adams from Bazunu. Ward Prowse can't get there. Louise wins it. Heads it back to Boubacar Kamara. Up to the feet of Bailey. Bailey inside to Jacob Ramsey. Jacob Ramsey got off the ball by Diallo. Diallo finds Lavia. Lavia tries to play it in behind Ashley Young, but it's got too much legs on it, and Adam Armstrong just gives up the chase very, very quickly, but the run was there from the midfielder to try and play the ball in between the Aston Villa centre-back and full-back to let the man run round the outside. Bit scrappy at the moment as Moreno plays it back to Martinez. Martinez plays it out first time to the right side of centre-half. Konza to Boubacar Kamara, out to Young. Young up to Bailey. Bailey back to Boubacar Kamara. Camera back to the edge of his own penalty area to Konza. Good pressing here from Nathan Jones Saints side. They're not making it easy for Aston Villa to come out of their own half. Mings and Konza now exchange passes. Konza now, midway point of his own half. Looks towards the goal away to my right. Plays it up to the feet there of Jacob Ramsey. Plays it back to Camera. Camera sees the ball lost out to by Lavia. Lavia gets it up to Adams. Adams toward Price. Now out to Armstrong. Armstrong down this near touchline. Back to Kyle Walker-Peters. Infield to Diallo. Diallo will open his body out. Plays it to Coletta Carr on the halfway line. He's it out now far side. Edozie turns, runs at his player. Got two for company. Buendia. And of course he's got in front of him Moreno. Goes back this time to Lianco. Lianco has to run through two challenges and does his best. And in the end has completely floored Tyrone Mings. Well, Lianco gets the first card of the game. You know, you might hear the praise sometimes. He's left a little bit on him. Well, he's just bowled him over. Strike one, you would say there, because he's gone straight through Tyrone Mings. Free kick given, card given. Michael Salisbury with the first waft of the yellow card inside 13 minutes of this game here. But the ball is currently inside the Aston Villa penalty area at the feet of Emi Martinez. Rolls it out to Konza. Konza back to Martinez. Martinez through the centre, under pressure from Adams. You heard the groans from the crowd. And now coming forward is Camera. Camera up to the halfway line. Looks out to the overlapping left back. This time the man on the left side is Moreno. Tries to step inside of Edozie. Gets a toe in. Moreno picks up the loose ball. And Samuel Edozie's gone down in a bit of a heap here. And there was quite a quick whistle by Michael Salisbury. I didn't see it. I followed the ball away. But they're on very, very swiftly due to the whistle there. Yeah, Moreno totally inadvertently stood on the foot as it went down, and Michael Salisbury saw that. Nathan Jones has a quiet word with Romeo Lavia on the touchline. Obviously seeing something he wants to work on straight away. 4-4-1-1 for Aston Villa against the 3-4-1-2 of Southampton. Edozie's back on his feet. And it's very interesting to see that Edozie, every time he gets the ball, Moreno and Buendia very quick to double up on him. And Buendia is supposed to be playing as a number 10. Been watching Edozie play over the last few weeks and been very impressed with Samuel Edozie. Anyway, Villa on the attack, far side. Cross goes in, headed away this time by Coletta Carr. Going to be a throw to Aston Villa on the far side of the field. Throw on the far side. Thrown back to Luiz, back to Moreno. Moreno tries to play it through the body there of Diallo. Hits his shins, goes out of play. Villa Garner a few yards down that far side. Moreno into the feet of Buendia. Back to Moreno. Runs into Diallo. Lavia tries to carry the ball out. Dispossessed by Douglas Luiz, who rolls the ball back for the halfway line to Tyrone Mings. Mings will go further back into his own half to the midway point, where Konza will play it all the way back to his keeper, Emi Martinez. Samuel Edozie, £10 million from Manchester City. And has enjoyed his time down here. Started 3 of the last 4 Premier League matches. Ball through the centre. Good bit of work this time by Salisu. Just getting away from a flick by Ramsey. It's played out from the midfield areas to Walker-Peters. Walker-Peters to Adam Armstrong. Down the line to Ward Prowse. Camera just puts the ball out of play midway inside the Villa half. Down this near touchline, right below where the camera gantry is. Southampton attack the goal away to my left hand side. Into the 16th minute. Southampton 0, Aston Villa 0. Premier League live. That's Selfie 86. At Talksport Live. Walker-Peters into Ward Prowse. Back to Walker-Peters, who lifts it forward, but it's easily left to bounce across his body by Konza all the way through to the Aston Villa keeper away to my left hand side. Emiliano Martinez. He rubs the ball and bowls it out underarm to the left-sided centre-half Tyrone Mings, midway inside his own half. Just lollop him forward, square to Konza. Konza, 15 yards shy of the halfway line, out to the halfway line, this near touchline, the right for Villa. Bailey goes back to Ashley Young. Ashley Young goes back to Emiliano Martinez. Good press by Southampton again. James Ward Prowse, one of the furthest forward at the moment, breaking from midfield, which is what they want him to do. Diallo tries to find Edozie on the halfway line. Villa get into it. A little bit scrappy. Just hooked forward again by Southampton. Martinez will come out of his goal away to my left-hand side. And he will look to kick the ball with his feet. And he does so from the edge of his box to Konza. Konza midway inside his own half. Dead centre of his own half. Away to my left. Short ball forward into the feet of Ramsey. Back to Konza. Konza plays it to his left to Mings. Mings now 12 yards shy of the halfway line. Out to the far touchline to Moreno. Moreno's under pressure from Edozie. Gets it back to Mings. In the end, Mings plays it against the legs of Edozie from close quarters. And it goes away for a throw on the far side to Aston Villa. Mings to Konza. Konza back to Mings. A little bit of a tepid moment in the game between these two sides. Southampton with just the one win in 9 attempts at home this season. But it's Villa. Ramsey held up by Adam Armstrong. Goes square to Camera. Camera back to Young. Young 4 yards inside his own half. Back to Ramsey. Ramsey back to Ezra Konza. Konza out to Mings. Mings up to the halfway line. 4 yards in from that left touchline. Plays it down the line. Forward some 15 yards into the feet of Moreno. Back to Mings. Mings through into the feet. Layoff by Buendia. Lovely layoff back inside by Moreno. Buendia can't get there. And Salisu inside his own penalty area thumbs the ball away up to Edozie on the far side. Shea Adams does really well. Gets the ball back. This time to Romeo Lavia, who does well to get it to Diallo, but he's been smothered out of it. Ball breaks to Bailey. Bailey tries to feed Ramsey. Good tackle on the edge of his own penalty area by Salisu for Southampton. Louise back to Ashley Young. Back to Louise. Louise give and go with Ramsey. Ramsey out to Leon Bailey. First time ball into Douglas Louise. Back to Jacob Ramsey. Back out to Leon Bailey. Stands the ball up into the box. Flying punch by Bazunu. Got nowhere. The header's not cleared here. Back inside to Douglas Louise. Being held up by Lavia. Back shot comes in well wide. And Southampton goal ultimately. But Gavin Bazunu came out for a cross just moments ago. And quite frankly got absolutely nowhere near it. Just scooped in by Leon Bailey. And it really just came off a couple of heads and popped away, and Lianco cleared. And finally on the far side, shot wrapped across the face of goal by Moreno, nowhere near the goal of Southampton. Goal kick, goal away to my right. Bazunu level with his right post on the 6-yard box, knocks it long, helped on by Adams. And thumped as far as he can get it away from his goal by Konza. Salisu wins a header. Wins a second header that comes back towards him. Lianco and Buendia tried to battle for the ball. Buendia's done well to get it back. But in the end, the foul has been given for a foul on Emiliano Buendia. Halfway line. Douglas Louise back to Konza. Konza square to the right back, Ashley Young. Young, Dennis right flank to Leon Bailey. Tries to step inside of Kyle Walker-Peters. Goes backwards, then goes for a long diagonal looking for Alex Moreno, who won't keep it in play on the far side. £13.3 million signing from Betis. Good idea by Leon Bailey, but a little bit too much of weight behind it. Game is fairly tight and it hasn't really ignited so far here at St Mary's. James Ward-Prowse thought he was fouled as he received the ball by Camera. But no free kick has been given, and it's an Aston Villa throw midway aside to Southampton half. Villa attack the goal away to my right-hand side. Right back, Ashley Young throws it in, finds the thigh of Bailey's control is good, but ultimately with Diallo and Walker-Peters in control of the ball, and they get it back to Salas, who scoops it up towards the halfway line. Konza heads forward into the chest of Lavia. Lavia with a long ball over the top, and Adam Armstrong's got a good run on here, but he's not as fast out of the block as Emiliano Martinez, who came and thumped the ball away. It looked like Southampton had almost sprung the offside line there. On this near side, there's lots of buffering on the ball here. Ball breaks this time to Bailey. Bailey tries to go past Salisu. Gets a block on Walker-Peters to Salisu. Salisu across to Ward-Prowse. Inside it goes to Diallo and out to Samuel Edozie. Edozie gets it down. Far touchline. Southampton attack the goal away to my left. He has to check back though to Lianco. Lianco back to Coletta Carr on the halfway line. Squared up Mohamed Salisu. Salisu will go back to Duje Coletta Carr, who tries to play it down the line for Edozie, but goes behind him and straight out of play for a throw to I have to say, to Aston Villa. Anybody that's interested in the four-legged sport of kings in horse racing, 357 at Linkfield. I'm a share in 2 horses running now. Both I think have got an each-way chance. Covert Mitchin and Asda. So at the half-time break I will be watching the races. Go on, my son. Anyway, far side, it might give me a bit more excitement than I've got actually in this first half here. Good work by Moreno into the feet of Buendia, back to the Southampton goal. Southampton smuggle the ball away though. Ward-Prowse, Adams clips it long. Ward-Prowse goes over, going to be cut off by Ezra Konzo. Turns it all the way back to Martinez. And Martinez waits for Ezra Konzo to run across the edge of his box, and he plays it to him. He takes a touch, turns to his left and plays it out to Tyrone Mings, the left-sided centre half. Goalkeeper palms really being touched at the moment. We've had a misplaced punch by Bazzuno. He never got anywhere near it, causing a little bit of consternation inside the Southampton penalty area. And Martinez quicker out the blocks than Usain Bolt to clear from Adam Armstrong just moments ago. But otherwise, it's been a fairly dour struggle at the moment. Clip forward, headed away from the edge of his own box by Coletta Carr. Coletta Carr gets the ball to Romeo Lavia, does really well to spear and play it out to the Southampton right. Adam Armstrong gets on his bike, being tracked by Bailey, goes past Bailey, just got Young to get to, 12 yards from the dead ball line, plays it back to the edge of the box to Ward-Prowse, little layout to Walker-Peters, Walker-Peters back, this time to Diallo. Diallo squares it out left hand side, Lianco crosses in, real chance, Adams, what a save by Martinez, that's going to be offside. Well, Kyle Walker-Peters should have just let the ball run into the back of the net, you feel there. Great ball in from Lianco, turned in goalwards by Shea Adams. Martinez lost it. It was just making its way very slowly towards the goal line when Walker-Peters decided to turn it in. I'm going to get a better look at it now. In fairness, I think it could be offside on the edge of the box. Adams gets a shot in. It beats Martinez, and oh my word, Cole Walker-Peters, please. It's going in. 0-0, it remains here. And Southampton fans lifted by that moment of maybe madness from their left back, Kyle Walker-Peters, but it still remains goalless here. And the Southampton fans on their feet finally down here as Mings finds Louise. Louise goes back to Mings. Mings tries to slip it through to Buendia. Good clearance there by Lianco. Picked up this time by Louise. Louise finds Ramsey. Ramsey back to Louise. Louise opens his body out, looks for the right back here. Ashley Young takes a touch, takes another touch. 12, 18 yards forward he goes. Ball up to the edge of the box into the feet of Watkins. Lays it back to Ramsey. Back to Watkins. Walker-Peters should see this out. Does so. And it's going to be a goal kick on the far side of the pitch. I think Shea Adams and Walker-Peters were offside at the start of that attempted goal. But Walker-Peters was certainly offside when it came down to touching the ball over the line. Well, it is long ball forward, headed away. Konza misses out. Adam Armstrong gets the ball down midway inside the Villa half. Tries to play it to Ward-Prowse, cut out this time by Ramsey. Ramsey to Camera to Louise. Louise to Ramsey. Ramsey to Buendia. Buendia goes up towards the edge of the box, tries to play it into Watkins. Watkins with a chance to get round the back of Lianco. Bazzuno doesn't get there again. It's headed away by Salisu. Edozie gets the ball down under pressure, level with his own 18-yard box, and in the end just stabs the ball away. Tyrone Mings and Shea Adams go shoulder to shoulder, and I think that's 50-50. My refereeing eye from this distance, I thought that was 50-50 between Tyrone Mings and Shay Adams. But it wasn't shoulder to shoulder, it was a little bit of shoulder to small of back. So we'll leave it there. We'll go with the referee on the park. He is closer. He's tried. I'm just a commentator. I say what I see, like the great God of saying what you see. Roy Walker of Catchphrase would say. Free kick to Aston Villa. 27 minutes gone. Douglas Luiz will take. Goal away to my right-hand side under threat. Southampton hold the line 20 yards away from their goal line. Standing over it, two arms aloft. Luiz delivers towards the penalty spot. It's right in behind. It's a great defensive tackle by Salisu. Hooked away by Southampton. Young picks up the loose ball. Buendia slips it in. Bailey, can he keep it in? Stabs it across the back of the goal. Trying from the dead ball line to turn it back into play. Could not do so. Goal kick here at St Mary's to Southampton. Goal away to my right-hand side. It's not awe-inspiring stuff down here at St Mary's. It's one of those titanic struggles where nobody really... Well, you certainly wouldn't put 10 points between these two sides as we speak. Aston Villa after John Duran from Chicago Fire, I think it is, coming in to replace the firepower they're missing. Coletta Carr goes over the far side, puts the ball out of play under the auspices of Ollie Watkins. Back to Douglas Luiz, halfway line, turns it back to Tyrone Mings, 12 yards inside the Villa half. Villa defend the goal away to my left-hand side. Mings back to Douglas Luiz. Back to Tyrone Mings. Tyrone Mings wants to go forward, but then plays it square to his right-sided centre-half, Konza. Back to Mings. To Moreno. Moreno, the left-back. Back to the left-sided centre-half, Tyrone Mings. I'll tell you when it gets a little bit exciting, and at the moment it's just a midfield sideways square ball. This game. He plays it forward this time to Ramsey. Ramsey gets himself in a little bit of trouble, but manages to fish the ball out to the right-back, Ashley Young. Young down the right, looking for Ramsey. Cut out by Walker Peters. Tries to go past the run there of Jacob Ramsey. Puts the ball out of play. Throw to Southampton. Well, I'm not going to question Unai Emery, who's got a real good pedigree in the game, but he has made his decision this week to release top goal scorer Danny Ings to West Ham United for 15 million. But at the moment, his forwards are lacking real sort of penetration. Walker Peters throws the ball down the line, headed back towards him by Young, headed inside by Bailey. Halfway line, Buendia gets it back to Camera. Camera up to the body of Watkins. He leaves it for Buendia to run onto. Buendia finds Bailey. Bailey plays it square. Real chance here. Shot goes in. What a save by Bazzuno. Comes back out. Oh my word, Leon Bailey. Oh, you talk about the red mist descending. Let's be honest with it, Jacob Ramsey smited a shot in, it's palmed away, good save by Bazzuno, comes out to Leon Bailey. Bazzuno's on the deck, got players on the line, has to be said. But Leon Bailey, red mist, thump it as hard as you can. It's on its way down the M27 somewhere. Thought he was going to get a goal. Well, I think anybody in the second tier of the stand away to my right-hand side was under severe threat. If they were taking a bite of a pie or a drink of a drink, they could have got hit by the ball. It was that high. Calamitous. 0-0, Southampton, Aston Villa. 31 minutes on the clock at Selfie 86 at TalkSport Live. Long ball forward by Bazzuno, headed on by Adams, cleared by Tyrone Mings. Headed forward by Salisu, helped on by Lavia. This time Shay Adams fouls his man, who is Konza, as he tries to get onto the football. Just been told there's been 4 attempts, 1 on target so far, and I can't remember any of them. It's been that sort of game for me today. Camera out to Young. Young plays it forward. Little left by Bailey, finds Buendia. Buendia breaking down the right wing now. Turns to face Walker Peters. Into the edge of the box. Little left by Ramsey to Camera. Camera plays it into the feet of Bailey. Give and go. Covered by Walker Peters, who clears his lines. Picked up by Mings. 24 yards out into the box. Back to goal. Watkins back out the far side to Moreno. First touch a little heavy No shut down by Edozie. Moreno rolls it back. Luiz puts the ball into the box. Salisu with a big header away. Brought down nicely this time by Ramsey. Ramsey to Young. Back to Ramsey. Ramsey inside the camera. Camera back. Trying to go down the line. Great play by Walker-Peters. Dispossessed by Ramsey. In comes a strong challenge this time by Diallo. Villa with it back. Edge of the box. Spin on the turn there. Salisu has gone close in on Ollie Watkins, who'd gone down in a sack of spuds, but he's still down inside the box. He'll get up now as the ball comes back towards the Southampton box. Ashley Young clips the ball in on the diagonal. Lianco with the header away for Southampton. Headed back in by Boubacar Kamara. Southampton under pressure. Villa starting to up the ante. Kamara to Mings. Mings level the 18-yard box of Southampton. Head to Moreno. Back to Kamara. Back to Moreno. Lovely ball into Luiz. Luiz little layoff there to Buendia, who tries to find Ramsey on the edge of the box. First touch is too heavy. Ramsey has another shot. He dribbles through. Bozino will fall down on him. That effort sums the first 33 minutes up. Because when it comes down to it, it's been a real dour struggle between these two sides. I am going to double check with Salisu on Ramsey, but I think the referee has done his bit, and at the moment Southampton find it very difficult to find the ball out. Armstrong plays it all the way back to Salisu. Salisu 6 yards from his dead ball line away to my right hand side, up to the halfway line. Adams to Ward Prowse. Ward Prowse now out to Edozie. Edozie will try and take on Moreno. Goes outside Moreno. Edozie cuts it back inside Moreno. Puts the ball into the box. Cleared by Mings. Moreno will get onto it. Alexander Moreno excuse me, plays the ball down the line. Back here, whistle goes. Bozino is down at the moment. He's not too well on the far side, holding his right thigh on the quads. Nathan Jones takes this opportunity to try and make some minor adjustments, calling some of his players over. Willy Caballero is getting ready. Gavin Bozino may well be coming off. Willy Caballero has been asked to do some stretches here. And that will be a bit of a blow. Into his 42nd year, Willy Caballero. Interesting, we have in the Premier League 2 Argentine goalkeepers. Should he come on? Last game was in the 3-1 win against West Ham in March 2022. Bozino picks himself up. Really I wonder what's going through his head. Warming up on the far side of the pitch. Just puts his thumb up and asks if Gavin Bozino's okay. Seemed to get a thumbs up, so William Caballero could well make his way back to the bench. But we're back in play, 36 on the clock. Goal is here between Southampton and Aston Villa. Chanceless in fairness as well. Camera 3 yards inside his own half. Villa attack the goal on my right. Ball out this time to Ramsey. Ramsey waits for Ashley Young, the right back, to get alongside him. Plays it back inside the Camera. Camera back to the centre spot. Mings forward this time to Douglas Luiz. Douglas Luiz forward to Camera. Camera back to Tyrone Mings on the halfway line. Mings short ball forward. That is Buendia. Buendia down the line to Moreno. Moreno trying to get away from Edozie. Edozie forcing to play the ball back towards the halfway line to Tyrone Mings. Mings in front of the technical areas, far side of the pitch. Here at St Mary's. Comes in field. A little diagonal ball through a gap for Camera. Camera tries a reverse ball through a gap. This time cleared by Coletta Gar. Southampton give the ball away though. And it breaks to Leon Bailey. Bailey stands the ball up into the penalty area. Lianco heads the ball away. And Diallo comes forward with the ball. Plays it into the feet of Armstrong. Armstrong back to Walker-Peters. Walker-Peters back to Salisu. And Salisu scoops it up towards Armstrong, who heads it on to Shea Adams on the halfway line. Adams does incredibly well to spin away from two and clip the ball over the top, but a little bit awry. That'll go all the way through to Emiliano Martinez in goal for Aston Villa away to my left-hand side. It's been a little bit uninspiring in the first 45 down here. So far, I should say, in the first 37 down here at St Mary's. And it's given you the line that one goal's going to be enough to win this game. Mings inside his own penalty area, faced by Ward-Prowse, plays it out to Moreno. Moreno to Luiz, who tries to turn it around the corner looking for Buendia. Good tackle by Lianco. Lianco finds Edozie. Edozie back to Lavia. Lavia to Lianco. Lianco down the line to Edozie again. Back to Lianco. Lianco midway inside, but far on that touchline. Plays it back to the halfway line to Caleta-Car. Square to Salisu. And then back square to Caleta-Car. Back out to the right winger. Edozie, who's going to take on Moreno. Edge of the box now. He's got two for company. Goes outside Moreno. Can he stand the ball up? He does. Good take by Martinez above his head. Well, he's on a bit of a live wire. The £10 million signing from Manchester City. Samuel Edozie. Playing with a real breath of fresh air. Doesn't really care too much, you feel, about the situation. He's just going to go and enjoy his football. And that could be a blessing for the Southampton fans in a tough end of season, possibly. Martinez to Konza. Konza square to Mings. Mings on the edge of his own box. Plays it out to Alex Moreno. Moreno inside to Boubacar Kamara. Kamara to Luiz on that left touchline. Back to the left back, Alex Moreno. And again, this is so symptomatic of the first half. It's been very sidewards and backwards for both sides. Villa playing football in their own half, retaining possession. Ashley Young. Boubacar Kamara looks for a diagonal, easily cut out this time by Lianco. Lianco gets it, Edozie. Edozie's upended just inside the half of Aston Villa by Douglas Luiz. Both sides got themselves a few injuries to talk about. Augustinson, Bednarek can't play because of a loan deal. Cash, Digne, McGinn, Carlos Steer all out today. Although I believe that looking down, that Cash is back on the bench. Ball breaks free for Leon Bailey, but he's just taken away by Ibrahima Diallo. He plays it back to Bazuno away to my right hand side. Thump long. Shea Adams don't get there, but it really is a midfield sort of tussle here. Jacob Ramsey 4 yards inside the Southampton half. Little touch to the right back, Young. Young tries to go forward. Clip of the heels there by Adam Armstrong. Who Southampton are missing Stuart Armstrong, Bella Kotchap, Larios, Livramento, McCarthy and Walcott. It's just a rather cheap free kick given away by Adam Armstrong. Villa though goes square. Luiz tries to lift it up to Ollie Watkins. He's well shackled here by Caleta-Car. Loose ball will fall to Buendia. And in the end, Caleta-Car had held on to his man a little bit too long in the tussle after the ball had gone. It was Ollie Watkins. And, it's going to be a free kick to Aston Villa. Wins in the 40th minute. Southampton 0, Aston Villa 0. Please get on the Twitter sphere at TalkSport Live at Selfie86 if I need to keep you awake here, because it's a tough one to call here. The cold on my cheekbones, biting into my cheekbones, is keeping me awake. Just the big blanket and hands in the pockets are doing very, very well. Free kick though to Aston Villa. And as the goalkeeper Bazuno looks out of his goal, away to my right-hand side, centre spot and penalty spot, 12 o'clock. This is around about 5 past the hour. Standing over it, Douglas Luiz. The wall is 2 yards outside the penalty area. You can say it's about 30 yards out. Luiz has Ashley Young almost in a 2 metre place away from where the ball is to be rolled out and stopped, you fancy, by Ashley Young. We've got an incident here. Michael Salisbury has stopped him and he's calling James Ward-Prowse towards him. Michael Salisbury is pointing up to the heavens. I can't see exactly what he's seeing here. There's a drone over the pitch. We have a drone inside St Mary's. And that's not just the drone from the crowd. And all the players are going to go off the field of play until the drone is got rid of. So just keep with you at the moment, but it looks as though it could be an enforced back to the changing rooms situation, as an overhead drone inside St Mary's is going to cause an issue. Somebody's Christmas present doing that, but Michael Salisbury with no option but to remove the field of play, players from the field of play. And we are going to hand you back, though, to Russell Hargreaves now. Keep your football coming in, and as soon as we're back on the field of play, we'll come back here. Well, they're all heading towards the changing rooms here in the 41st minute. Goalless between Southampton and Villa. Let's head over to Russell Hargreaves and Hogan Ephraim in a game between West Ham United and Everton.
It's in the cross shot, and it's another goal for Jarrod Bowen. These boys do combine for a critical goal. It's Bowen's second. Antonio atones for that missed chance a second ago. And suddenly West Ham blow this one wide open. Everton staring at the relegation trapdoor. The Hammers, jubilant, are looking up. It's West Ham 2, Everton 0.
Oh, it's a fantastic counter-attack that from West Ham. Iwobi has the ball on the edge of the West Ham box. He's looking for width from Seamus Coleman on the right, but he's came inside, so he's turned back out. The way they break, and this is much better from Antonio. Bowen's running into no man's land at the time. He needs a run for him, and Antonio does run the channel this time. Skips past Tarkowski. Great delivery, and Bowen's continued his run, and massive day for Jarrod Bowen, and that's brilliant.
It was Tarkowski he beat, you're right. I thought it was Mykolenko, but Mykolenko was miles upfield, and when Iwobi gave the ball away, he was bombing forward. Didn't expect the ball to be given away so poorly as it was, and that whole combination of events really set this going, didn't it?
Totally agree, and Tarkowski, once he dives in there, he either has to take the ball or take the man. There's no way that he can be on the floor and Antonio makes up 6 yards on him. He has to either give away the foul or win the ball. But Bowen continuing his run, absolutely fantastic. But that's what we want to see from Antonio, running those channels, giving an option for a midfield player to find you with a pass. Fantastic for West Ham. 2 updates to bring you. First of all, there's been a drone spotted just above St Mary's, so everybody has gone off. In that Southampton game against Aston Villa, a pause for Andrew Self. Off at the moment due to a drone. Of course, players we know from a previous incident like this can't go on. Something like that has been spotted in the vicinity of the stadium. There's been another goal, as we talked about in that Leicester-Brighton game. We'll go straight back there in a second to Tim Long. But Everton 2 down with 3 minutes to go till half-time here on Premier League Live are coming forward through young Onana, the Belgian. Now to Iwobi, who needs to atone himself for that terrible pass that set the catalogue of events in play for the second goal. Deflected cross behind for a corner. Let's quickly take you back then to Leicester-Brighton. The Seagulls were winning 1-0.
Perfect pass out towards Harvey Barnes, far side, attacking the edge of the penalty area. Harvey Barnes onto his right, appeals for handball, comes back out, another appeal, third chance opportunity is good, and Leicester are level.
1-1, thank you very much indeed, Tim. 3 corners apiece here, which is one of the stats that Everton at least do have parity in, not many. Gray takes it right-footed from the far side, looping delivery, looking for Onana. It's picked up now by Mykolenko, floats it in looking for Calvert-Lewin, back to Iwobi off the post and behind. Alex Iwobi, snapshot, short backlift through a sea of West Ham bodies. No chance for the Hammers keeper Lucas Fabianski, but it flicked the edge of the post and went behind.
How has that not ended up as a goal? I'll never know. Great position. Also deflection off Declan Rice. Right,
it is going in otherwise. Absolutely in the back of the net otherwise. Well done, Rice.
Goal. You can even see his celebration afterwards. He knows that was massive, that for Declan Rice right before half-time.
Off Rice, off the post and behind for a corner to Everton. My goodness. Gray will take this one from the near stand side, so rather than the outswinger that caused a fair degree of pandemonium in the West Ham box, this one will be an in-swinger instead. And referee Stewie Atwell not too happy with a little bit of argy-bargy between the nines, Antonio and Calvert-Lewin. Antonio certainly more fired up and integral now, and this sitter, and a good assist for the second. Gray's delivery, and it's Rice, I think, who heads it clear. It was. Mina was there. Fabianski hadn't committed and come. He was staying on his line. Maybe the right call. Rice helping him out as Fabianski punches, doesn't get there, ball goes loose, the pole tries to grab it. I think there's an offside from the secondary ball. Back in his Arsenal days as a youngster, he was nicknamed Flappy Hansky. Largely, he's had a cracking career since then. I'm not going to deny that, but that was a bit Flappy Hansky, wasn't it?
He does worry me at times. Like you said, he has had a good career, but he just tends to have a little bit of a wild side in him and come in for things which he probably shouldn't do. But that was a big minute, that, for Declan Rice. He made a great header away from the corner. Just before that, he obviously makes the block, which then deflects onto the post. So West Ham will really want to get into this half-time break with a 2-0 lead, a little bit of a comfort zone, and then reset from there.
At TalkSport Live, keep your tweets coming in from around the world. We'll continue to read out the best of those over the course of the game. Haven't had much chance so far, though, because we've had to focus on what has been a compelling match so far. The quality has been ramped up a little over the course of the half, almost exclusively by West Ham. Everton with just that one chance a moment ago of note, which they failed to take. Everton with 1 win in 13, 2 draws, 10 defeats, 7 without a win in the Premier League. They and West Ham with a joint worst streak, with 15 points, the Toffees' lowest ever tally at the halfway point of a Premier League season. And at the moment, they look like they'll be stuck on 15. Long ball over the top, this is better. Zuma's slipped. Calvert-Lewin infield. Oh, Damari Gray tried to get his shot away. I think it was Safal, and again helped him. They just about backtracked as a combo and stopped an Everton goal, because that was a bit sloppy as Zuma got his feet in a bit of a tangle.
Real chance that. Calvert-Lewin using his physicality brilliantly there against Zuma. Nice little pass across. Aged, last-ditch tackle on Damari Gray. That was brilliant defending from Aged. I think him, Ogbono and Zuma, they've defended really, really well today. They haven't been at their best playing out from the back, but defensively they've been no nonsense.
Another good Everton corner. Fabianski half came again unconvincingly, but he was helped out by Ogbono. And the Italian's big bald head got that one to safety. Antonio with a flat long ball forward wasn't great, but it just about in the end managed to reach its intended target of Saeed Benrahma. Not a great bit of football, and that's the final passage of play as Stuart Atwell blows his whistle. As things stand, they are off due to the drone, I grant you, but Southampton on course for a point as things stand. West Ham obviously winning. That all means that as things stand in the live table, Everton Football Club are bottom of the Premier League. One chance, brilliantly blocked by a combination of the post and Declan Rice to deny Iwobi. But at the other end, 2 goals from Jared Bowen, his 5th and 6th of the season. First well taken, after good work down the left and given via VAR. The second after Mikel Antonio made up for a horrendous miss and really got stuck in and set it up for his strike partner. Lampard under epic pressure. A chink of light, a ray of hope for David Moyes. Half-time, West Ham 2, Everton 0 on Premier League Live.
Previously on White and Jordan.
Well, we didn't budget for this money. Surely we want to give it to our lesser cousins. Yes, and the moon's made of cheese, right?
Clash of the Simon.
The modern day fairy tale today in English football almost inevitably involves money.
There's no such thing as a no-score draw.
New footballing hostilities on the field of play, so you've had a little bit of a break from me, and this free kick will come in now that the sides are back out. Not too long, luckily, to get rid of the drone. Well, hopefully we can get rid of the drone with cheers inside the ground of St Mary's. I mean, lack of any real sort of goal threat from either side in the first 41/42 minutes of this first period. Anyway, free kick. Bazunu looks out of his goal, and if you were to draw a line from the centre of Bazunu's goal away to my right through the centre spot and the penalty spot, say 12 o'clock on a clock face, he's looking out to 10 past the hour. Standing over it is Douglas Luiz, 2 yards away from him. To his right is Ashley Young, looking as though he's going to roll the ball to him and then come thumping it in from the edge. A three-man wall of Adams, Armstrong and Diallo will protect the right of Bazzuno's goal away to my right-hand side. Goal is between the two. Let's see exactly what happens now. Michael Salisbury looks around, checks everything's right. Here comes the free kick. Louise to Young, he looks the other way, lets him dribble across him. In the end, it's a rather tardy effort. And Leon Bailey puts the ball in, but it's awful. And the clearance by Bazzuno is even worse. My word, it's a comedy of errors down here at St Mary's. At least something's warming the crowd up, because the football at the moment is pretty poor. Goal is here between Southampton and Aston Villa. And we're into the 42nd minute. Still time to be added on at the end of the first half. Mercy be, let's hope they can go and get a cup of tea slightly quicker. Anyway, ball between Mings and Konza, which is a sort of, could have been Kings and Monza, but I don't know. That's a racing track in Italy. Mings goes long. Cleared this time by Coletta Carr, pounced onto by Ramsey, up to the feet of Watkins. Watkins turns to go past Salisu. Salisu puts a trailing foot out and catches him, and now Michael Salisbury says it's a free kick. Another free kick to Aston Villa, this time more central. They will be attacking a goal away to my right-hand side. Salisu just reached a foot out and caught Ollie Watkins on the shins, and it's going to be a free kick about 25 yards from the Southampton goal, away to my right-hand side. This time a four-man wall for Southampton. And they are protecting Bazzuno's goal on the left-hand side as he looks out of his goal. This is more like 5 to the hour for the Southampton keeper to deal with. Bailey, Louise and Tyrone Mings there. He fancies the centre-half. Tyrone Mings is not going to have a little bit of a blast. Indeed, Douglas Louise and Leon Bailey there. Emiliano Buendia comes out. They're all pointing at the wall. Michael Salisbury says, I haven't even paced it out yet, so I don't know what you're all moaning about. Finally, he puts a little bit of squirty cream down. And the wall is on the edge of the box. Still, Michael Salisbury hasn't paced it out, and it does look a little bit close. But anyway, Gavin Bazzuno won't be able to see the ball until late on here. 3 Villa players stand over it. Who's going to take it? Bazzuno will watch. What a row of players across the edge of his 18-yard box. Goal away to my right-hand side down here at St Mary's. Michael Salisbury sees Bailey firing in, flicks off the wall, goes up in the air, heading goalwards in the end by Boubacar Kamara, but it's easier for Bazzuno to take down by his ankles. And that's a little passage of play, a little bit like the first half. The only things of any creativity have been mistakes or haphazard passing. Free kick to Southampton on the far side. They go long. Flicks off the head of Boubacar Kamara. Ashley Young gets the ball away. Ramsey's beaten to the ball by Ward-Prowse. And flicks it out to Kyle Walker-Peters. Walker-Peters midway inside the Villa half. Back inside it goes this time to Romeo Lavia. Crossfield wall looking for Samuel Edozie. Headed away by Alex Moreno. And Buendia picks up the loose ball midway inside his own half. Far on that touchline on the far side. Up to Watkins, who tries to turn it round the corner. Lianco, the only man with a card in the first half, chests it down and rolls it back to Mohamed Salisu. Salisu, 12 yards outside the Southampton penalty area. Away to my right, plays it forward into the legs of Lavia. Lavia up to Ward-Prowse. Ward-Prowse out to Walker-Peters. And Walker-Peters at least 2 yards outside of play. Kicks the ball down the line, throw into Aston Villa. Into the final minute of the first 45 here. Time to be added on, we wait to see. Played back though by Young to Konza. Konza to Martinez. Martinez to Mings. Mings to Moreno. And good job it's not another player beginning with M as they try to play it forward to Ollie Watkins. Coletta Carr gets a toe. Watkins tries to win it back. Good work by Coletta Carr. Gets it to Buendia. Buendia now trying to go towards the Southampton penalty area. Tries to play it into the legs there of Ramsey. Cleared by Salisu. Paulie now straight to Douglas Louise. Midway inside the Southampton half. Give and go with Kamara. Back to Louise. And now out to Moreno. Moreno stumbles past Edozie, trying to take on Lianco. Pulls the ball back to the centre spot. Slipping Leon Bailey misses out. And Coletta Carr just clears it. An additional 2 minutes. Wow, you lucky people. 2 minutes of this. It's enough to drive you to an Oxo or a Bovril. That's what I will say here. Konza to Mings. Mings to Moreno. Moreno inside to Buendia. 6 yards inside to Southampton half. Plays it back to Konza. Armstrong tried to shut him down, but Villa played the ball out to this near side to the right back Ashley Young. Young lifts it over the top looking for Watkins. Easy for Bazunu just to wait for the ball to come through to him. Ollie Watkins nowhere near it. And the ball is through into the hands of the Southampton keeper. Away to my right hand side. Bazunu still hangs on to it. And it is all down to Bazunu to maybe waste the 2 minutes to be added on. Waist high volley up in the sky. Underneath it, Louise heads it to Buendia. Cushions a volley back to Louise. Louise head to Morena. Morena for Buendia. Just all action on the halfway line in front of the technical areas on the far side of the pitch here at St Mary's. Paint that in your mind's eye. Idozi tries to go forward with the ball. It's pushed to the floor. And it's a free kick to Southampton. And that really is symptomatic of the whole of the football that has been played in this game so far today. It's been very scrappy. James Ward-Prowse stands over the free kick. This is not going to go goalwards because it's a long way towards the halfway line. Lifted into the box. Armstrong tries to run in behind Mings. Gets a little touch on it. Falls nicely though. Moreno waits for Martinelli to come out. Or should I say Martinez to come out and gather before bowling it out. I was looking for Martinelli just to bolster things up. But he plays for Arsenal. And they got Manchester United tomorrow. Big game. You'll listen to it on TalkSport Live and Premier League Live. The referee says that's enough. It's back to Russell Hargreaves while I go off to find some sugary drink to wake myself up for the second half. Here at the break, it's 0-0 between Southampton and Aston Villa.
We know the teams that we are going to face, and it'd be important for us is to concentrate about ourselves and try to score goals, because we know that it will be difficult because how good they are defensively. But you know, we are creating enough chances to score those goals.
A very good team. I think the two games we've had against them have been very tight. Although we probably had the better chances in the first game, the league game, which we didn't take. It was still a tight game, and the Carabao Cup game could have gone either way. So now we travel to their ground, and that's always a tough place to go. It will be a good atmosphere. We obviously go there in good form, but we don't underestimate the challenge. Patrick's a very good manager, and they've got some very dangerous players.
Eddie Howe, before that Patrick Vieira. Newcastle largely flying, we know that, and right near the top of the table for the first time in well over a decade. Palace are an odd one to quantify, aren't they? The Vieira kind of rebuild and revolution, it's all right, but it's not perhaps quite reaped the rewards we maybe thought at this stage.
Yeah, no, I agree. Looking at the table before the game, seeing that if Nottingham Forest won at Bournemouth, they'd be on the same points as Palace, and that surprised me. They show some good signs, Palace. You have players like Olise, Eze, Zaha, more creative players now on the team, and they can get a result like we saw the other night, but their consistency just not been there.
In Newcastle, it's been excellent, hasn't it? But no Bruno Guimaraes today. He's out for a little while. Last time he was out, they missed him, didn't they?
That's a huge miss. Yeah, I think he's been vital to the success they've had over the past 12 months or so. But Newcastle is so good at the back that you go into games thinking if Newcastle score a goal, they're going to win. And they've definitely got players in Almiron, in Isak and Wilson, say Maximum, who can definitely score goals. And then you look at Joelinton and Joe Willock, he's picked up his form again. They just look really strong all over.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Some nice understated work from one or two other members of that starting 11 to just make those around them look a little bit better. I think someone like Sean Longstaff is a good example there.
He's been brilliant, Sean Longstaff. He's really come into his own, and when they play with him, Willock and Guimaraes in the midfield, they've got a real physicality about them. There's no fragility. They look strong. It's tough to break them down, and with the back four, yeah, it's a good team unit.
That's our next commentary. Palace against Newcastle. Our second half fast upon us. The sword of Damocles is dangling over Everton and Frank Lampard. West Ham Everton, second half of a huge relegation six-pointer to come on Premier League Live.
chanceless, and a little bit of a turgid battle between these two sides. Just the one yellow card to talk of in the first half. Lianco found himself put in the book earlier on. Let's run through the two sides for you. Southampton, white shirts with a red broad stripe down the front of their shirt, black shorts and white socks. In goal, Gavin Bazunu. A back three of Salisu, Kaletakar and Lianco. Then they've got four across the middle of the park in Kyle Walker-Peters, Diallo, Lavia, Edozie. And then it is James Ward-Prowse in behind Adam Armstrong and Shea Adams. And for Aston Villa in a grey kit, their away kit today, Emi Martinez in goal, a back four of Young, Konza, Mings and Moreno. Ramsey, Camara, Louise and Edozie. Not Edozie at all. Ball goes forward. I can tell you that Boubacar, Camara, Louise and Bailey, Buendia and Watkins at the top of the pipe. Watkins tries to take on Kaletakar in the start of the second half. The clearance is really poor, straight out to Ramsey. Ramsey finds a shot in by Bailey, which is side-footed into the hands of Bazunu, whose clearance was woeful to say the least. Really was a poor ball out by Bazunu. Side-footed it straight to Ramsey. Ramsey played it straight into the feet of Bailey. Bailey's low shot into the hands of Bazunu. Villa back on the football, far end of the field. Ball up to the halfway line. Buendia turns in field. Aston Villa defend the goal away to my right, attack the goal away to my left. Far side, Ashley Young, the right back, driving forward, midway inside Southampton half. Out it goes to Bailey. Bailey trying to take on Walker-Peters. Checks, rolls it back. He gives the set out to Young. Deep cross in, around the back, headed away by Edozie, flicked away by Ward-Prowse. Douglas Luiz gets it down 24 yards out. Good feet, right to left and then out to Young. Young's delivery in, headed away by Salisu inside the Southampton penalty area, away to my left. Picked up this time by Camara. Camara to Buendia, but a loose touch there allows Adam Armstrong to try to tidy up. But he's beaten to the ball by Tyrone Mings. His clearance and effort to block the ball has fallen nicely to Edozie. Edozie back to Lianco. Lianco to Diallo. Diallo back to Salisu. Salisu 4 yards outside the Southampton penalty area, away to my left-hand side. Now to Walker-Peters, who tries to turn it round the on-rushing Jacob Ramsey, and it goes away for a throw to Southampton, 12 yards inside their own half. Just to let you know, I see pictures here of St Mary's very much as you'll see them on your television screens when it comes through. Technical areas on the far side of the pitch. Some more vocal Southampton fans. Goal away to my right. And the away fans in the far side of the pitch, away to my left-hand side. Southampton will be attacking their more vocal fans as the ball is scooped back to Bazunu. Takes a touch, wide of his goal on the right-hand side. Out to Kaletakar, out to Lianco. Lianco clips the ball up over the halfway line, looking for under Ward-Prowse, who brings it down. Plays it in field along the halfway line to the feet of Diallo. Diallo looks out to the left back. Walker-Peters gets it out there. He's faced up by Jacob Ramsey and forced to twist back towards the halfway line and then go round the outside of Ramsey. Walker-Peters does well, but as he tries to break forward, the covering man Ashley Young gets the ball back away from the Aston Villa penalty area. And then a challenge going in by Lavia puts the ball out of play for an Aston Villa throw on the far side of the pitch. Ashley Young will take 12 yards shy of the halfway line. Technical areas on the far side of the pitch here at Southampton. Willie Caballero, Ainsley Maitland-Niles, Joe Rebo, Mislav Orsic, Roman Perot, Siko Mara, Musa Gineppo, Mohamed El Yunusi and Carlos Jonas Alcaraz Duran on the bench for Southampton. And I'll go through the Villa bench in just a second. Ward-Prowse gets the ball to Samuel Edozie. Midway inside the Villa half, shows too much, allows Alex Moreno to take it off him, backheel it forward to Buendia. Buendia tries to use the outside of his boot in behind Lianco. Lianco turns it all the way back to Bazunu. Two goalkeepers on the bench for Villa, Olsen and Sinisalo. Then Matthew Cash, Morgan Sanson, Callum Chambers, Philip Coutinho, Leander Dendonka, Sebastian Arevan and Caden Young. Diallo into the feet of Adams. Adams tries to play it through the body of Mings. Ricochet favours the feet of Camara. Camara gets it to Ramsey. Ramsey tries to set it in behind the defence for Leon Bailey. Cut out by Salisu. Salisu finds Lavia. Lavia to Diallo. Diallo to Ward-Prowse. Howls of derision coming up from both sets of supporters here because the Sides are winning the ball back and giving it away at the same time in equal measure. Kaleta near side to Lianco. Lianco, 12 yards shy of the halfway line, plays it out to Samuel Edozie. Edozie drives now towards Moreno, tries to go outside Moreno. Moreno steads his ground but slips on the ball. Edozie gets away from Buendia, goes over, free kick on the angle for Southampton. I put nothing past Ward-Prowse, and maybe a shot from Ward-Prowse at this impossible angle, wide of Martinez's goal to his left, at the goal away to my right hand side. Might be something for me to get a little bit excited about. But otherwise, it's been an awkward afternoon in terms of commentary to try and make it sound anything but exciting. At TalkSport Live at Selfie 86. I'll give it you straight here. 51st minute of the game. James Ward-Prowse goes over for a shot that could make me go woo. That would be great, wouldn't it? Not going to get it though, am I? Right, Martinez, goal away to my right, stands over by his left pipe, his left post, and looks out. This is about 12 yards from the dead ball line, the yard outside the side of Aston Villa's penalty area on the left-hand side. Ward-Prowse is going to whip this away from goal. He's got some targets to aim at, whips it in with real pace, off the chest, edge of the box. Lavia strolls to shoot, blocked by the legs of Ashley Young. Picked up by Bailey now. Bailey running down the left here, being challenged all the time by Diallo, forcing him back to play into the feet of Moreno. Moreno to Buendia. Back out to Bailey. Bailey popping up on the left-hand side, not the right. Back to Buendia. Buendia strokes the ball across to Konza. Konza takes a touch and plays it forward into the feet of Boubacar Kamara. To Douglas Luiz, who's going parallel to the halfway line. Out to Young. Young down the line, flicks off the legs of Walker Peters, throw into Aston Villa just about on the halfway line. 46% of play in the first half was in the middle third. And that little concertinaed area, very similar now. Throw to Aston Villa. Now Walker Peters not too impressed with that one, with the linesman on the far side, whose first name will be Dan, because both of them are Dans. Michael Salisbury's the ref. And we have Dan Cook and Dan Robertson on the flags. Forward man and fourth official Keith Stroud, and monitor man and VAR Simon Hooper. At TalkSport Live at Selfie 86. Thrown down the line by Southampton, headed away by Ashley Young. Buendia gets it down, tries to slip it through for Watkins. Easy though for Kaleta, just to roll his arm out and say to Bazunu, come and claim it. Bowled out over to the right-sided winger. Edozie cuts inside his man, tries to slip it in behind Mings, who slides to stop it, but Armstrong picks up the second ball. Back toward Price, first time cross, swung into the Villa box. Far side on his chest, Jacob Ramsey facing his own dead ball line, chests it down and hooks it over his shoulder away, looking for Bailey. Bailey and Salisu battling hard here. Salisu gets it to Edozie. Edozie back to Lianco, just inside the half of Villa, coming forward. He's going to play it back to the right-sided man, Edozie. Edozie cuts inside Moreno. Back to Lianco he goes. Lianco comes forward. Outside of him is Shea Adams. Stops the ball, sets it back toward Price. Infield to Edozie. Edozie then to Diallo, dead centre of the half of Aston Villa. Finds Lavia. Lavia out to Walker Peters, the left back going forward now, faced by Ramsey. Checks, rolls it back a few yards around the edge of the box of Villa. To Lavia. Lavia to Salisu. Back to Lavia. Villa have forced Southampton virtually back to the halfway line. Kaleta opens his body out, looks to the right side in full back. Lianco goes for a crossfield ball looking for Armstrong. Headed away this time by Ashley Young. Picked up by the loose player with a floppy hair, Romeo Lavia. Lavia cuts in on his right foot, but again has to go backwards to Salisu. Salisu back to Lavia. Lavia far touchline. Southampton has had the goal away to my right. Crossfield ball. Lianco does well to head it over the on-rushing Buendia, but Moreno will help out his fellow Aston Villa teammate and hook the ball away. Near side throw to Southampton. Lianco to Ward-Prowse, back to Lianco, and they're back to Kaleta, who sweeps it first time out to the left side of centre half. Mohamed Salisu forward to Romeo Lavia. Lavia 6 yards inside the half of Villa, gives the ball away. Watkins interrupts play, and Villa try and break with Buendia. Buendia over the halfway line to Douglas Luiz, who took a little shove in the back from Ward-Prowse. Free kick to Aston Villa, a yard and a half inside the Southampton half, taken quickly by Luiz, finds Ramsey. Ramsey looks out far side. Leon Bailey will try and take on Carl Walker-Peters. Trying to go outside and get to the dead ball line. Stops it. Good doubling up there this time by Ibrahima Diallo. Wins the ball as he dragged it back and plays it up to the halfway line. Konza gets upended there by a challenge by Shea Adams. Konza picks himself up in the technical area at the feet of Unai Emery. Shea Adams gave it everything he can. Of course, Shea Adams, a former Birmingham player. And the second city, Aston Villa and Birmingham players, maybe not the best of friends. But I don't think there's anything to do with that in that challenge whatsoever. Back in play on the far side. Ashley Young trying to get away from Shea Adams, who just puts a little body across the man, and down he goes. A few boos go up from the St Mary's faithful. Villa with a free kick. Ashley Young picks himself up. That's a little hobbledehoy. Ashley Young, a mere youngster compared to their reserve keeper at Southampton, Caballero. Young dresses himself down, plays it back to Louise. Louise back to Konza. Konza 7 to 8 yards inside his own half, back up to the halfway line to Boubacar Kamara. Kamara to Louise. Louise to Buendia. Feathered out on his near side, Moreno. Buendia carries on his run, but he's going to be ushered off the ball. Good work by Ibrahima Diallo. Buendia wants a throw. Who's going to look to their spare players in the pack first? Southampton, or indeed will it be Aston Villa? Throw it a bit to Southampton down the line. Ward-Prowse heads it forward. Aston Villa get it down. Watkins back to Buendia. Buendia finds Douglas Luiz. He'll look out to his right back, Ashley Young, 30 yards away from the dead ball line. Ball infield to Ramsey. Back to Young. Young back to Douglas Luiz. Back on the halfway line it goes now to Konza. Konza will turn it all the way back to Emi Martinez. Comes out of his penalty area away to my right hand side. And plays out to the left side of centre half. Tyrone Mings up into the feet of Buendia. He turns, spins, plays a straight ball through the centre. Ramsey doesn't take it with him. Edozie gives the ball away. Buendia finds Ramsey again. Ashley Young on the scene now. Villa just starting to maybe increase the tempo. Little step over. Buendia, edge of the box. Space plays. Salisu flicks it back to Douglas Luiz. Lovely skill to get away from Ward-Prowse. Drops it over his head, but instead of Gazaresque finish, he scuffs it terribly. Villa, though, pick up the loose ball. Tyrone Mings to Douglas Luiz. And on this near side to Moreno. Moreno into the feet of Bailey. Bailey popping up on the left now from the right. Licence to move around, but again, Southampton have forced Villa back to the halfway line. Very compact. Konza to Young. Young 6 yards inside the Southampton half. Villa attack the goal away to my left-hand side. Inside to Buendia. Buendia back to Young. Young tries to stand the ball up, but Ollie Watkins cleared by Salisu. Ward-Prowse loses out to Douglas Luiz. Luiz 34 yards out, right foot shot, drilled against the legs of Coletta Carr. Falls nicely from Moreno. Coletta Carr gets a toe in. And now it's Ward-Prowse going the other way. Tries to curl it in behind Tyrone Mings. Shea Adams tries to go in. Emiliano Martinez first onto the ball. Gets the ball away. Villa try and go forward again. Buendia more and more involved with everything Villa do, albeit on the safe side, one would say, more in the middle third than the final third. Young gets the ball away. Diallo gets it to Lavia. Lavia goes down the line looking for Adam Armstrong. Covered his run was this time by Boubacar Kamara. Armstrong snaps into a challenge, but he manages to feed the ball infield to Konza. Konza up to Douglas Luiz. Boubacar Kamara. Buendia back to Douglas Luiz. Luiz up to the halfway line, over the halfway line, attacking the goal away to my left hand side. Plays it out to his left to Tyrone Mings. Mings out to Alex Moreno. Atmosphere has gone up a touch inside the ground. Mings, little step over. Buendia tries to slip it through, looking for the run. Good covering play there by Samuel Edozie. Diallo back to Salisu, back to Bazzuno. Bazzuno knocks it long. And another passage of slightly untidy play comes to an end as the ball is played by Ward-Prowse onto the legs of Tyrone Mings. We've got some changes coming for Southampton. Siko Mara is one that's likely to come in. Mohamed El Yunusi, another that's likely to come on. And Raymond Perrault all are stripped off and ready to come on the field of play for Southampton. I don't want to be a little churlish with this, but maybe Southampton should play with 14 players to increase the odds of maybe a goal being scored in this game here on this near side. Adams has done well to pick up a little touch there, gets it back this time to Edozie. Edozie to Ward-Prowse, back to Edozie. Edozie first time cross into the box. Young brings it down inside his 6-yard box, stops it from going for a corner and flails the ball out on the far side. Will the changes be made for Southampton now? 60 minutes on the clock. No, they don't. Collects a car and Salisu infield to Diallo. Diallo's first touch is poor. Louise gets it forward to Watkins. Watkins is flattened by Diallo. Is he not? Lianco thumps it the other end of the ground from the halfway line. Away to my right hand side, Martinez. Head of his penalty area on the right hand side. Takes a touch before smacking the ball up towards the halfway line. Salisu goes in. Ramsey gets a second ball. Loose touch. Walker-Peters watches the ball out to the touchline. In the end, it comes off the legs of Jacob Ramsey. Unai Emery's having a few words, and now Southampton will make their changes. First change. Sekomara coming on for Shea Adams. El Yunusi for Lavia. And finally, it is going to be Perot for Edozie. Well, that's a really strange situation for your commentator. Well, I thought certainly Edozie was having a good game, but what do I know about football? Raymond Perot will drop into the back line, you fancy here. Will play wide on the right hand side. Mata will go through the centre with Adam Armstrong. Nusi spreads the play straight away, but it's cut out on this near side. Ward-Prowse picks up the pieces, finds Kyle Walker-Peters in now, turns up on the right side of the defence, steps inside of Buendia, edge of the Aston Villa box, little reverse ball. The Ward-Prowse turns, plays it back, real chance here for 1-0. What a save! The best moment of the game. Armstrong from the penalty spot, and Martinez got down and saved it with a big right boot. Best chance of the game, best bit of football in the game. I can't believe I've had to wait 62 minutes for something to get me off the edge of my seat. Sekomara gets the ball down now. Picked up on the far side. Roman Perot steps inside one, won't get away from the second. It's thumped away by Camera up to the halfway line. Adam Armstrong, 62 minutes I waited for it, and it got saved. I thought the net was going to billow. I thought I was going to wake up from a bit of a nightmare inside the commentary box. It still remains Southampton 0, Villa 0. Walker-Peters steps inside of his man really well here. Does excellent. Crosses the ball in. Big header away by Tyrone Mings. Straight to Walker-Peters, who steps the ball up to the back post. Brought down at the back. Sekomara penalty spot. Laid out the ball. Prowse finds a shot. Deflection. 1-0. As scrappy as the game's been, James Ward-Prowse gets a goal that breaks the deadlock. 63 on the clock. This game has been what I can only describe as bits and pieces, odds and ends, a little bit scratchy here and there, and the goal came and it was ultimately scruffy. Villa players, including Douglas Luiz, who get the yellow card, moaning at the moment. We'll wait to see exactly what it was. Great work by Walker-Peters in the first instance. Crossed it in, header out by Mings straight back to him. Deep ball in, looked like Armstrong perhaps fouled Boubacar Camara. Finally it went back, and it came off the heels of Konza and looped over the despairing lunge of the Argentine international Emiliano Martinez from James Ward's goal-bound shot. And they may look to see him. Adam Armstrong had indeed been interfering with players up looped across. They are having a look, but at the moment Nathan Jones' side go in front. Well, it has been an absolutely scruffy game with a scruffy goal, and now Michael Salisbury is being asked to look at the screen. It did look as though The Southampton man, I believe it was Adam Armstrong at the back of the pack, made a little bit of a lunge to move his man off the ball. We'll now have a little look. Armstrong on Boubacar Kamara. The ball is El Yunusi actually. Ball goes up in the air, and well, it's very soft by Boubacar Kamara because he has just fallen to the floor. I'll tell you what, he has got an arm on his back, but my word, for a big, strong midfielder, defensive midfielder, to fall over quite so quickly is a bit beyond me. But there is an arm on the back, but it's not enough to do that. That's an interesting one for Michael Salisbury. He's blowing the whistle. No goal. Foul by El Yunusi on Boubacar Kamara. Back to 0-0. Just what this game needed was a 0-0 scoreline. Mohamed El Yunusi with a little arm on the back of a Premier League footballer, Boubacar Kamara, who he obviously found that spot where all the bones disappear in the body and he falls to the floor with no skeletal pieces in there, just flesh, because I don't think there's enough there for me to see Boubacar Kamara go down, but hey ho, I'm not the referee. This game could have done with a goal. And Michael Salisbury's ruined the thoughts, the hopes, the excitement, everybody around the world of a Southampton and Aston Villa persuasion. Mohamed El Yunusi has infringed at the back post, and it remains goalless here at St Mary's. Bit of excitement though, ultimately, wasn't it? Really. Michael Salisbury being taunted by the fans as he doesn't know what he's doing. He's going to go by what he sees. As monitor man Simon Hooper said, have a little look. I mean, what would a goal have done in a game like this, really? It would have just livened things up, made one side come out and made the other side maybe defend with a bit of their lives at the foot of the table. No, keep it level. I don't want excitement brought into my life today. Start Sandy. Anyway, back we go. Selfie 86. As Villa come forward now with the ball. I had a little moment there, didn't I? If you're listening with me, you can feel my pain here. Ward-Prowse gets the ball to Diallo. Diallo cuts in field, throws it back to Kaletikar on the edge of his box. Short pass to Lianco, and Lianco's ball out is picked on by Boubacar Kamara, who this time gets a little shove by Adam Armstrong, and this time it was a foul. The diminutive figure of Adam Armstrong just waited until Kamara was about to reach for the ball, so he's totally balanced and gave him a big shove in the back. Well, there we go. Free kick to Aston Villa. Douglas Luiz stands over it. Michael Salisbury stands over it. Adam Armstrong says, what did I do wrong? Michael Salisbury says, you gave away a foul, mate. Off your trot. Bailey, Luiz and Young having a conflab over the ball. It's just to the right of centre. It's quite a long way out. It's a one-man wall for Gavin Bazzuno. It's about 30 yards away from his goal. Southampton defend the goal away to my left-hand side. Luiz curls it into the box. Big head away by Vujay Kaletikar. Armstrong heads it away. Shot comes in on the spin. High over the top of the crossbar from Alex Moreno. And Aston Villa are about to bring on Philip Coutinho for Emiliano Buendia. And that's a change. Both similar players, in fairness, play the same role. And I'll just keep talking because that's agricultural language there. There's lots of words in the English language that you could use, fans out there. You don't need to use that language, but hey, if it fits. If it's sort of rhythmically right. One more forward. Salah gets it down. Wins a second header. El Yunusi leaves it to Ward-Prowse. Ward-Prowse scoops it out far side to Roman Perraud. Perraud dinks it down the line to El Yunusi. Back heel, easily picked off by Kamara. Kamara feeds it to Leon Bailey up to the halfway line, over the halfway line. Plays it into the feet of Coutinho. Tries to play it back to Bailey. Cut out by a foot of Kaletikar. Southampton win the ball back with El Yunusi to Diallo. Diallo, crossfield balls, not going to make Walker Peters. Cut out this time by Jacob Ramsey. Ramsey driving forward to the edge of the box, plays it out there. Watkins on the angle, fires a shot in, blocked by the legs of Lianco. What a cheer by Lianco as he blocked that shot there. First corner in the game since about the 7th minute. 62 minutes have elapsed here. And it's an Aston Villa corner, goal away to my left-hand side. Bazunu will look out to his right. So right down by my left shoulder as I look down from the camera gantry position here. Luis to take it. 70th minute. Ball into the box, hooked over his head, back to goal of Watkins. Mings is battling on the far side with Diallo, running out towards the dead ball line. Mings, Diallo very close. Rolls it back. Ashley Young wanted to go down the right, comes in on his left, stands up deep, ball over the top of everybody and away for a goal kick. Ironic cheers go up. And it's going to be a goal kick to Southampton. Lifted out near side, headed inside by Ramsey. Ward-Prowse gets it down. Sara can't get onto it. Mara, I should say. Second Mara. Aston Villa throw just inside their own half. Moreno throws it back to Tyrone Mings, just outside his penalty area, way to my right-hand side. 71st minute has now elapsed, and it's goalless between Southampton and Aston Villa. James Ward-Prowse with a disallowed goal after El Yunusi's a little bit of interference. Ramsey gets the ball down under pressure, loose touch here, chance for El Yunusi, plays it out to Sekumara. His ball into the box is too close to Emiliano Martinez. Rolled out to Coutinho. Coutinho steps inside of Ward-Prowse but loses out. Diallo plays it forward to Sekumara. Mara can't get away from Alex Moreno. Mings picks up the pieces and finds Luis. Luis to Ramsey. Ramsey up to the halfway line to Watkins. Back 15 yards to the man wearing 15, Alex Moreno. Back to Mings, and Moreno comes up to the halfway line. The left back here for Villa. Plays it in. Coutinho steps over it. Southampton in possession of the football. Roman Perot inside the centre circle on the Southampton side. Plays it to Diallo. Diallo to Coletta Carr, who plays it behind Lianco. Chance here for Ramsey to drive towards the Southampton penalty area. Pulls it back to the edge. Little layoff by Luis. Little give and go. Lianco atones and clears his lines. Young heads it forward. Diallo first time ball up to the feet of Sekumara. Little layoff to El Yunusi. Good challenge this time by Ashley Young. Leon Bailey being tracked back to the halfway line, and in the end goes over from the slightest touch of Roman Perot. Nathan Jones did not quite concur with that decision there by our referee today, Michael Salisbury. Still doesn't. I've got a little look of him on the monitor, and he is using shortened words from our vocabulary here in England. Ball goes back to Konza square to Mings, midway side to Villa half, away to my right, up to the halfway line, into the feet of Ramsey, and out to the left back Moreno. Moreno back to Mings, Mings back to Martinez. Martinez under pressure from Mara. And it's played out on the far side to Young. Young trying to get away from Armstrong. Armstrong does really well to get his leg around, and they're waiting to see. I think Adam Armstrong got it against the legs of Ashley Young, but our referee, Mr. Salisbury, says it's going to be a throw to Aston Villa. 12 yards inside their own half on the far side of the pitch. And Villa work the ball back to Ezri Konza. 6 yards outside his own penalty area, away to my right-hand side, square to Tyrone Mings. Mings gallops forward 6 yards, back to Konza. Forward now to Camara. Camara into the feet of Coutinho. Tries to spin away from Salisu. Upends him. Mohamed Salisu with both hands gesticulates ball. Michael Salisbury says yes, that's what you should have tackled and not the man. Free kick given to Aston Villa. 74 on the clock. Villa goes square. Mings 12 yards inside the half of Southampton. Back to the halfway line to Luis. Luis square on the far side to Ashley Young. Young short pass infield to Kamara. Kamara forward to Coutinho. Spins away from Salisu. Tries to play it forward. Looking for the run of Ramsey. Cut out by Lianco. Lianco gets away once and finally gets a free kick for being upended. And Ward-Prowse wants to take it quickly. Plays it against the shins of Ramsey, and the fans are all up in arms on this near side. .75 on the clock. Kaleta-Kar. Diallo back to Kaleta-Kar. And out on the far side to Salisu. Salisu with a straight ball down the channel. Young will head this away from the edge of his box. Kamara gets onto it. Lifts it up to the halfway line. Flicked header on by Coutinho. Salisu's got himself in a little bit of a pickle under pressure from Bailey. Hooks it out of play on the far side for a throw to Aston Villa. 12 yards inside the Southampton half. Coutinho into Kamara, back to Young. Young down the line, blocked this time by Yunusi, and out of play on the far side for a throw to Aston Villa. Into the final 15 regulation minutes of a game that's been low on quality, one would say. And the ball is back to Emiliano Martinez, captain of Aston Villa. Goal away to my right. Stops it about 6 yards outside his own penalty area. Stands on the ball. Waits for somebody to come and meet him. And then plays it to Konza. Konza to Kamara. Kamara to Young. Young goes down the far side. Looking for the ball in over the top of Perot's head, who heads the ball away. Villa get a throw. Played into Kamara. Kamara. Wrong side of the man. Brought down by Seko Mara. Free kick to Aston Villa. Centre forward that come on for Shea Adams, giving away a free kick. It's a little bit closer for Aston Villa, but again, a bit of an angle for them. Gavin Bazzuno, goal away to my left hand side. Will look out to his left, about 10 to the hour. Wall is taken to the edge of the box, so from that you can deduce it's about 28 yards away from the goal of Gavin Bazzuno. And standing over it, normal protagonist Leon Bailey, Douglas Luiz. And a line being held just on the edge of the 18-yard box of Southampton. Douglas Luiz curls it in. Free header, 1-0. Ollie Watkins, 7 yards out. Aston Villa take the lead. Decent delivery. Just found himself with time and space to head it into the back of Bazzuno's net, away to his left hand side. Watkins is onside, got in between Kaleta-Kar and Lianco and headed it in from 7 yards. They will have a look just out of protocol, you fancy, but it depends where you measure the offside, really. I think that's a goal. Ollie Watkins, well, you know, I don't know what it is anymore, so I'm not even going to dance down the line of what VAR may look at. They may look at the tip of the shoulder. Michael Salisbury is going to take his time, monitor man down with the remote control in St George's Park is now going to look, and the goal, I believe, could be ruled out. No, the goal stands. The Aston Villa fans are happy. Southampton fans aren't. Can Unai Emery's side with 3 away Premier League games on the trot for the first time for quite some time. And it hasn't been a bad sort of period of time away from home for them either. Brighton away, Tottenham away, and now Southampton away. All games with something on should they hold on to this lead. Southampton have got to find something now. Coutinho wins the ball back deep in Southampton territory. Tries to play the ball back and goes out of play for a goal kick. Ollie Watkins with just his 4th goal in the Premier League this season. And heads it in from 7 yards. Decent delivery by Douglas Luiz. Begged to be headed, and Watkins got in behind Lianco and done well to head it to Bazzuno's left hand side. Can Southampton muster something in this game? Mings back to Martinez. Martinez lifts it long. Walker-Peters heads it down to Diallo. Diallo 6 yards inside the half of Aston Villa. Allowed to turn around, looks out to his right. Roman Perot's in behind. Stops inside the penalty area of Villa. Under pressure from Leon Bailey, being forced out towards the far touchline. Back to Salisu. Salisu stands the ball up. Headed away this time by Ramsey. Brought forward by Lianco, who gets a shot on the second bounce from 20 yards. Straight into the body of Emiliano Martinez. Southampton, for one moment in today's game, with a point, would have been off the foot of the table when Everton were trailing by 2-0. But that may now change. Matty Cash about to come on for Unai Emery's side. Leon Bailey brings the ball down inside the Southampton half. We're into the final regulation 10 minutes of this game. Salisu lofts it forward for Southampton. Kumara just blocks the way of Ezri Konsa as he tries to head it. And it goes away. Leon Bailey to be replaced by Matty Cash. Crossfield ball from the free kick by Young. Young to Moreno, who runs into the wall of Walker-Peters, who gets away from him. Free kick has been given because Moreno fell against Walker-Peters, who's tried to come away. Well, Alex Moreno's been given a yellow card, but I don't really think he did too much wrong there. He got himself into a bit of pickle with the ball. And then, he was sort of trying to drag him back. Didn't even get a hand on that. Couldn't do that right, but he got a yellow card for his troubles. Either way, Moreno. Ward press, free kick. Long way away from the Aston Villa goal, away to my right-hand side. Delivers the ball deep. Coming in, lots of heads, and one of those is Salisu, who heads it up and over the crossbar from about 10 yards. Never going goalwards whatsoever. More changes afoot for Southampton. Mislav Orsic about to come on. And with a possible one there, Mr. Gineppo may well be on his way onto the field of play. We wait to see. Villa lead by the slenderest of margins, given to them by Ollie Watkins, his 4th Premier League goal of the season. Coutinho comes forward, tries to play it wide. Walker-Peters cuts out for it, makes it to Ramsey. Ramsey gets the young fullback off the ball, plays it back to Moreno. Moreno to Luiz, back out to Ramsey. Ramsey on the halfway line, plays it back to my right-hand side to Mings. Mings will go back to Emiliano Martinez, who takes a touch and a goal away to my right-hand side. Plays it out to his right-sided centre-half, who is Konsa. Konsa tries to play it to Young. Young tries to play it down the line. Manages to get himself out of a hole and finally knocks it up into the half of Southampton. Duje Kiletakar plays it to Salisu. Salisu, one touch, flicks it long. Sekumara will chase, but it's easy for Martinez to stand over on the right hand side of his penalty area, right against the edge of the box, and just claim the ball. Interesting fact of the day that the ball is the same shade as Emiliano Martinez's kit and gloves. Just thought I'd tell you that because there's been very little else to talk about in this game, which has been a scrappy-do, which was the end of Scooby-Doo really when he was introduced into the cartoon series. Not a change. Orsic on for Armstrong and Gineppo for Kiletakar. Final throw of the dice you fancy here for Nathan Jones, who will revert to a flat back four. Mings heads the ball from the halfway line forward. Lianco playing centre half now alongside Salisu. Plays it to the right back. Walker Peters down the line it goes. Offside given against Orsic, who's just come on the field of play. .85 on the clock. Southampton 0, Aston Villa 1. This will be one home win in 10 attempts for Southampton, should this stay that way. The worries will mount up for Nathan Jones. One ball forward. Walker Peters volleys it clear, but out of play. Throw to Aston Villa, midway inside the half of Southampton. Alex Moreno comes forward to take the throw for Aston Villa. No hurry whatsoever. The fans will wander off to the Midlands, very happy with their 3 points. Watkins holds it in the corner. Being thwarted by 2, took it out of play ultimately, Ollie Watkins. It's going to be a goal kick to Southampton away to my left hand side. One ball forward, headed away this time by Kamara. Watkins plays it back to Luiz, who's upended by Sekou Mara inside the centre circle on the Villa side. The Salisbury will go across. Emery's side will move on to 28 points should they secure 3 points today. Mings lifts this long ball forward towards Southampton penalty area. Lianco heads the ball away. Luiz heads it down to Jacob Ramsey. Ramsey tries to keep it in play, but as is his want, he turns it down the line and out of play. Walker Peters throws it inside to Lianco. Leandro Dendoncker comes on very shortly for Aston Villa, who are trying to see out time here as the 87th minute is about to elapse. Salisu back to Bazunu. Bazunu out to Lianco. Goal away to my left hand side. Lianco, little drag back, goes back to Gavin Bazunu. Bazunu knocks it diagonal. Ashley Young halfway line heads it forward. Far side hooked over his head by Salisu. Sekou Mara. Gineppo tries to play it forward. It's going to be a throw to Southampton. Well, no. I thought it was a throw to Southampton, but that just goes to show you what I can see from here. It's going to be a throw to Aston Villa. Another substitution. Leander Dendoncker is going to come on for Douglas Luiz as we move towards the end of the 88th minute. Not a game for the purists. Down the line, headed on by Matty Cash. Hooked forward by Diallo. Headed away by Mings. El Yunusi forward. Young back the other side. Bit of head tennis here. Diallo out jumps Dendoncker, puts it forward to Watkins. Watkins gets away from Lianco. Trying up to the edge of the box. Lianco's tracking him. He's gone wide of the Southampton goal, but he's still in the penalty area. Tries to get through. Lianco does well. Ball breaks to Ward Price. Ward Price to Walker Peters. Back to Ward Price. Ward Price lays the long ball forward. Lovely taken by Sekou Mara, but Konza blocks the run and Martinez smites the ball out of play for a throw into Southampton midway inside the Aston Villa half, away to my right hand side. Walker Peters down the line to Orsic. Orsic doesn't get there. Dendoncker puts it out, throwing the same place of the last throw for Southampton. 24 yards away from the corner flag, defended on this near side by Alex Moreno. Southampton though trying to work this ball around. Lianco. We are into the 90th minute. Salisu out to Roman Perot. Perot Being thwarted by Coutinho, back to Salisu, Salisu to Diallo, Diallo back to Salisu. Southampton fans saying, let's get it forward. In the end, they go straight. Ashley Young heads the ball away. Dendoncker helps the header away a bit further. Perot and Coutinho tangle, but Diallo picks it up. Feeds El Yunusi. El Yunusi out to Gineppo. Gineppo faced by Cash. 12 yards from dead ball line. Good ball in. Flicked header by Sekou Mara wide of Martinez's goal. On his right-hand side. With a goal away to my right. All red seats available in the stands here. We're moving into the final 10 regulation seconds of the 90 minute here at Selfie 86 at TalkSport Live. Four additional minutes to be added on here. 4 minutes. Aston Villa lead by a goal to nil, scored on 77 by Ollie Watkins. Walker Peters lays the ball back to Bazzuno, who just side puts it up, lofts it forward. Sekou Mara chins it back to El Yunusi, who tries to play it out to Gineppo. Gineppo will get a chance to run though at the penalty area here, taking on Young. Couple of lollipops, sits him down, fires a shot in. Martinez palms it away. Corner to Southampton. Martinez with the first save of the match for him. Really, Gineppo cuts in, right foot across the face of goal. Corner to Southampton, 91st minute. James Ward-Prowse will deliver. Martinez, goal away to my right, looks out to his left. Ward-Prowse delivers a high ball, it's hanging. Salisu wins a header, easy straight into the arms of Martinez, who falls on the ball and lays prone towards the turf. Being spoken to by Tyrone Mings. Few more seconds gone. Incenses what is left of the St Mary's home crowd. Now gets up and carries his ball forward. Unai Emery looks to have masterminded the third away Premier League victory on the spin for Aston Villa here. It remains Villa leading by a goal to nil as Cash tries to break forward, gets past Perot. Gets the ball into the box. It's a decent ball, but Philip Coutinho looks and says, who's that to? Because it cleared him by about 6 foot and he's out on this near side. Osic plays it through the centre, looking for the runner Sekou Mara. Tyrone Mings ties him up and no worries. Emiliano Martinez is a good 8 yards outside his penalty area, away to my right hand side and thumps it away. Diallo to Salisu. Salisu plays it against the legs of Jacob Ramsey. Bazzuno just keeps it in play. Saves a goal kick. And we're into the third of a minimum of 4 to be added on at the end of this game here at Southampton. Southampton 0, Aston Villa 1. Walker Peters clips it long. Sekou Mara's got him behind. Flag goes up. One of the Dans. We've got 2 Dans on the line here. Cook and Robertson puts his flag up to signify that Sekou Mara went a little too early. And that offside will just ease a few bits of pressure. Although looking at that, it's not offside. You've got one job to do, Dan. Look across the line. He was onside. I've just seen the freeze frame. Not that it mattered. There we go. Southampton 0, Aston Villa 1 into the final minute of 4 to be added on. Martinez will take his time over this free kick for the offside that's just been given, maybe incorrectly when we looked at the replay. Not long over the top. Headed away by Walker Peters. Forward again by Villa. Hooked away by Diallo. Near side Jacob Ramsey gets the ball on it. Give and go with Coutinho. Lianco does his level best to try and clear. Does really well to hook it away from 2 Villa players on the edge of his own box before feeding it out to Roman Perot. Perot looking for Moussa Gineppo. Ashley Young hooks it over his shoulder, doesn't care, just away from his goal will do. And he's assisted by Camara. Back to Young, back to Camara. Camara down the line looking for Coutinho. Coutinho having a battle royal with Salisu. Hooks it over his shoulder. Camara trying to get it behind Ibrahima Diallo. Diallo does well. Coutinho blocks, throw to Southampton, far side of the pitch. 8 seconds of a minimum of 4 minutes to be added on. Thank you for joining me, Andrew Self, in a game that's been fairly low on quality. That's the end of the game. Southampton will stay rooted to the bottom thanks to a goal that was conceded on 77 minutes A Douglas Luiz free kick headed in by Ollie Watkins has given Unai Emery's side their third away Premier League win on the spin. Southampton, well, they just didn't do enough. In fairness, Aston Villa didn't do enough either. They just had the one chance which they took. I've been Andrew Self most of the time, just going through the motions, as with both of these teams. It's finished here at Southampton. Southampton 0, Aston Villa 1. Back to Russell Hargreaves and co.
Still 5 clear of Man City. They are 8 clear of Man United and 9 clear of Newcastle. But Newcastle, if they can get another win,